Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. Igbi is rumored to have fled the palace after, Ooni of Ife declared ancient sword oath because Kabiyesi could not just, keep his calm. Kabiyesi was irritated. Kabiyesi was annoyed. Kabiyesi was, if you know one thing that Kabiyesi doesn't do, Kabiyesi does not, go for the ancient sword so easily. He doesn't. And that is why people continue to say that when the python or the snake refuses to use its venom, little children will use that snake as rope to tie firewood. Kabiyesi does not reach out for the ancient sword like that too. But for him to have come back from Akure and went straight for his ancient sword, that alone should tell you that this situation was just the very worst of it all. Now, recall that very night, okay, Igbi had, gone to meet Kabiyesi. That was around 12. Kabiyesi had retired back very late. So they said immediately Kabiyesi got into his chamber, Igbi had come. Igbi had come to meet Kabiyesi, to beg Kabiyesi. They say she was crying. Why is she begging so much? She's begging because Kabiyesi does not even see her as a woman anymore. Kabiyesi does not even, like, you know how you'll be married to a man, you send even a text message, it takes the man 2 days to respond to that text message. That's your husband. You know how that can break your heart into so many pieces. They said that happens to be where Igbi is right now with the Ooni of Ife. Yes, they said that is where Igbi is right about now with the Ooni of Ife. They are not in a good place. So that night, she went to go and beg the Ooni of Ife. Maybe she was carrying one juju inside her tongue, or maybe just thinking that something was going to happen that would make Kabiyesi allow her stay in his chamber. Maybe just to distract Kabiyesi because she knew that those calls will come in. Maybe that was why she made that attempt, because people are asking, of all the days, how come she just made that attempt again on that very day where Naomi was going to be attacked? Now, when Kabiyesi came back from Akure, Kabiyesi was very upset. Before now, the elders, everybody, family members, they knew what happened. They knew that these people had gone to try and attack Olori Naomi. Everybody was angry. Palace was fuming. People were angry. People were saying, what is it with you guys? What is it? What is it? It was even that very morning that Reverend Esther told Kabiyesi not to worry, that one thing Kabiyesi must do is to bring Naomi back into the palace, that some of these women will run. They cannot stay there. And it's the same thing that a lot of other people have said to Olori Naomi, bring her back. That bringing her back is not going to be a tea party affair. Bringing Naomi back is going to be a very huge struggle. But if anybody had told Kabiyesi that they would have succeeded to a point where elders are beginning to call Naomi Kabiyesi's wife again, they've done the first full moon ritual, the second full moon ritual. Right now, she's seen and known as Kabiyesi's wife again. It's just that they cannot be in public together until they have finished that last full moon ritual. That is where you see that they can attend events together, attend weddings together. She can physically represent her husband in, so many things. And that is why you see a lot of things are happening on the background right now. And I'm sure that once this third full moon ritual is completed, everything will be out there, all her programs and everything. She's doing quite well. Kabiyesi has been of immense support to Olori Naomi. Kabiyesi has been there through thick and thin, provided everything for Olori Naomi. Like everything that Naomi would have ever needed, Kabiyesi has provided. They say when Kabiyesi came back and carried the ancient sword, Oloris were shaking and shaking and shaking. One Olori disappeared. Igbi, who was there Immediately Kabiyesi came back from Akure where elders were coming immediately. You know that when there is an emergency, you see elders trooping in. Then there is a bearer of the sword. What's the man's name again? Before they open that cupboard to bring the ancient sword out, the man must be in the palace, must be present. They say immediately what went out that man was in the palace. Everybody knew that it had to do with the ancient sword. You know that man that used to carry one head, like looking very, where the man wears one red and black cloth, carries something that looks like horn on his head. When you see him, it's even very scary. I've forgotten the name they call him. The man must be there. So anytime the man is in the palace, they know that it has something to do with the Asians one. Immediately information got to Igbi that man was in the palace. They said that was how Igbi left. Before Kabiyesi will even say they should stop her at the gate, the woman had already gone. Now, this daytime witchcraft, this level of witchcraft is what I do not understand. People can be wicked in this world. People can be wicked in this world. She left. They say when she left Kabiyesi, immediately, because when Kabiyesi brought ancient sword for everybody to come out and swear, they said even Ebony was there. Ebony came out, Blow came out, Dr. Lizzie was there, Oletik was there, okay? Gospel was there. But when they came, everybody was crying. The only person who wasn't crying there was Dr. Lizzie and Oletik. They were the ones who stood there and maybe just feeling very bad. Maybe Oletik might be feeling that this drama with Naomi, where will it stop and all of that, but they were not crying. Others were crying. They were jittery upon seeing the ancient sword, but the one person who drove out immediately and left immediately was Igbi. And because of the reaction of Igbi, everybody knew she was responsible. And that happens to be the reason why the other Oloris were not made to swear. They now left. And Kabiyesi, they told them that Igbi should never, ever be allowed back into the palace. Even if she likes, let her come with the king of anything. Igbi should not be allowed back into the palace. As we are hearing what is going on, if the information is true, they said that the next day, that was how she came with a lot of people and all of that. One big king, Igbira, something Igbira association stuff. They said they didn't allow them in, that they have started begging and begging. Meanwhile, she has a case with the Council of Elders. They want her to go and swear and all of that. But the reason why you see nothing is happening right now, Kabiyesi is focused on bringing Queen Naomi back because they have told them, so many different diviners have told them that the moment Queen Naomi steps into the palace, all those evil people, in fact, they will all dissipate. They cannot stay in that palace. That Kabiyesi should focus on what is important, not pursuing these women up and down, because they will never stop. But when Naomi takes her rightful position, they will now, you will see how they will leave one after the other. Because nothing is going to make Ooni of Ife rest as long as these women are in that palace. And nothing will change anything except Queen Naomi returns back into the palace. Iyanifa has said it time and time again, that the only thing Kabiyesi should be focused on right now is to get Queen Naomi back into the palace of the Ooni of Ife. You saw that the next morning, Kabiyesi was in Akure. When Kabiyesi got to Akure, they said that he was so happy seeing Olori Naomi. He was asking Olori Naomi what happened. Why didn't Olori Naomi go? Naomi had to explain to Kabiyesi that the Holy Spirit had ministered to her that there was something wrong. That the Holy Spirit told her not to move out of that gate, not to step out of the gate. They say Kabiyesi, Kabiyesi broke down in tears. We need to also understand that he may be king, but he is human. Kabiyesi broke down in tears when he saw Olori Naomi. After seeing Olori Naomi, he had to take that opportunity to go to Ojaja Park and because they had something to do there that Saturday. He had to use the opportunity, got to Ojaja Park. Um, Sorry, not that Saturday. I'm saying I don't even know the real day, but this just happened that day. The next day, they said they had something to do in Ojaja Park. He had to go to Ojaja Park. He finished and he came. They said when Kabiyesi got back to Ooni of Ife's palace, that the man was upset. That the man knew that, look, this is coming from them. He knew that it's just because of the full moon ritual. They don't want Naomi to succeed because they know that if Naomi succeeds and Naomi comes back to the palace, they know exactly the things that would happen. So that is what they are struggling so much against. That is exactly what they do not want. And they say when Kabiyesi got back to the palace, the first thing Kabiyesi did was to bring out the ancient sword, telling the Oloris that they will come one after the other to swear before the ancient sword that they did not send anybody to Olori Naomi. They asked them to go and call all of them to come out. All of them to come out. That was how they started coming out. Oleti came out. Blo Blo came out. Ebony came out. Everybody came out. Kabiyesi wanted them to swear. They say at this time he had already summoned elders and all of that it was a big thing. Kabiyesi asked them to swear. It was not a small thing that happened though. And you know one thing about the ancient sword, when they see the ancient sword, there will be, as in, each time people see that ancient sword, it's like it comes with one kind of energy. No matter how strong you are, you will start shaking. Shaking because of the past crimes that you have committed. They say Oloris were crying and crying as if somebody died. Even the ones who are innocent right now, they were crying and crying because they don't know they will go and touch the ancient sword now. Maybe it will strike them for what they have done. That is not even the main issue right now. That was what happened. One person was not there. Igbi did not even show up. My dear, it's not a small thing. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget. Just stay still and, listen to what is going on. Because if I continue now, this very video will be too long. Going to bring you more updates. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media. I appreciate you.